the gratitude I'm feeling to these two guys sitting on each side of me couldn't be more. They came to this program and wanted that type of opportunity to play in front of an amazing fan base, to lead a team, to show how important character and daily habits is in everything that they do. And I'm not even thinking a whole lot about the game right now. I'm just thinking of how proud I am of these two guys and how they lead and how they do things every single day. And for them to step up in the way that they each did from start to finish, to stay the course, to show leadership, that's what they do every single day. And thrilled that we won the game, but more proud of these guys and honored to be their coach because, man, it's a special, special honor to coach guys like this and see how they do it every single day. So really proud of them.
Questions for players first, please. Isaiah, walk me through that steal and that score there at the end.
The plan was really to pressure them, maybe get a steal, but really we figured we would probably just get a trap, find somebody to foul, and then come down, run a play. But Jaden did a really good job on the ball, and other guys were denied. My guy kind of just saw that everybody was denied. He tried to come up, and I just reached in, stole it, took my time for a second, and laid it up.
Gabe, you obviously hit a bunch of big shots late, but when you're watching Isaiah score, I think it was 16 of 18. What are you thinking?
Man, just let him cook. Man, just let him go to work. I mean, he had an ISO. He had the high hand. I mean, Colin missed a midi for a reason, so just let him go to work. That's it.
Where would you guys have been in that game without him?
I feel like we want to be in the same position we are right now. I mean, he gave us a lot of key energizing plays. He didn't turn the ball over once and was very consistent from the field. So, I mean, we needed him. So, I mean, we want to be where we are right now.
I got the same question to you with the shots that he hit late, the threes and the free throws.
Yeah, I feel like I kept us in it, but, like, Gabe's shots were huge. Like, they were daggers. They were taking the lead. Like, they were the back and forth. I kept us in it, but he had 2 straight threes, and it had the 2 huge free throws at the end. Cold-blooded.
When you're having a stretch like you do, do you feel like you just push that as hard as it'll go until it breaks, or do you worry about overextending yourself when you're that hot? Good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, I just, in that mode, I kind of don't feel anything. I don't feel tired. I don't feel like just we're winning this game.
Isaiah, I don't remember what shot it was. I think it was when you hit your 32nd point. You kind of turned to the crowd and did what was going through your mind right then?
Just, hey, I'm hot. They keep putting whoever they got on me, and that just keeps happening. I don't know what was going through their head. So.
I couldn't guard you, huh?
You said it, not me.
Anything else for the player? Okay, guys, thank you.
We have one more.
Just to win this way in general, guys, can you talk about that from a team perspective, what it means? You've won 3 in a row. You probably feel like you're rolling a little bit, even though there was tons of adversity tonight. Yeah,
I think this was a really big win for us, especially, how we were playing the first half and ended the first half, and then we come out and stick it to them and continue to stick it to them, and it's a back and forth battle in a game that comes to the last shot and a couple free throws. So I think a game like that really builds our character and builds us as a team.
All right, guys, thank you.
Good job.
TJ, who was Isaiah reminiscent of that you've seen play in this building? You've seen some of the greats.
Certainly have. Man, his ability to go get a basket on the wing is really unique. I mean, the shots he takes and elevates and creates for himself. I mean, we've certainly had a lot of scorers and guys that can make plays, but man, I don't know. He gets to that shot, and I don't know if I could think of anybody. I'm trying to. All the names are going through my mind, and I don't know if there's anyone to compare him to. His game's fairly unique, and the way he elevates on that jump shot, the confidence he plays with. So I don't know if I have a great comparison. I'm not trying to fumble this one for you. I want to give you somebody, but I'd rather I'd rather think about it and get it right if there is somebody, and right now nobody's coming to mind.
TJ, were you concerned at all with the physicality of the first half? That's as physical a game as there's been this year. Were you concerned that your guys could be pooped by the time that your guys actually turned it on?
The game was physical in the first half, for sure. In the second half, we had 13 assists, and we didn't turn the ball over, so we ran good offense in the second half, and I'll leave it at that.
I mean, to piggyback on that, you guys, in my estimation, lost the physicality battle for stretches of that game, and were able to turn it back up. I mean, what does that say, I guess, about maybe you disagree with that, about their mental toughness and physical toughness too?
Well, we thought we needed to space them and spread them out. Based on the way the game was being officiated and the way that things went for us in the first half, we felt it was in our better interest to play smaller, space the floor, and try to play out of our driving kick game. And so that was more effective for us. At the same time, we're playing a group of guys that aren't very tall at times, either George or Jazz with 4 guards. So physicality that we work on and preach and talk about every day isn't as much about size as about fight and competitive spirit. And our guys kicked it in when we needed to. We told them to keep winning the next play, stay the course. It would come back around. Would have liked for that to happen a little bit sooner, but fortunate that it did. And like I said, they got a lot of bodies. There's a lot of physicality, but it does say a lot about the competitive spirit about the guys that we had on the court and how they competed.
How did Isaiah take over? I mean, you talked about his shot making, but for a guy to take over a game like that.
Well, I mean, he came out and was aggressive early, and then, with how we try to facilitate some offense through the elbows, they were doing a good job of denying and switching and preventing his touches. So there was a period there in that first half we weren't able to get the ball in his hands quite as much. And so we really talked about at halftime how we could space them the best, not just for Isaiah, but to open the court up for our guards as well. And he did a great job staying aggressive. The thing I'll say about him, he's got a very short-term memory. So even though some guys would get frustrated, they weren't getting the ball, Isaiah just kept coming back. And then when the ball kept hitting his hands there in that stretch, man, he was electric.
TJ, late in the game, I lost track of how much time was left during all this, but you guys had the full court press on. You had Jaden on the ball. He stole the ball. I assume it was Brockington. I can't think it was Brockington. Made the basket. What role did Jaden play during that whole sequence?
Yeah, well, his length on the ball and activity level was disruptive. And, again, for not playing, the entire second half up until that point and then just coming in and being ready to make a play, that says a lot about Jaden. I mean, he's somebody that's proven to stay the course over the season when things didn't go his way immediately. So he's garnered that trust from us, and now he's made a big play there late, which we really needed. So says a lot about Jaden's character and how he's staying the course.
What does it say about Gabe to hit those 2 shots that he did when he did after? I mean, I don't know what he was shooting at that point, but obviously he's had an up and down year as far as shooting.
Yeah, really. Really cool to see for Gabe because it hasn't always gone his way shooting it from the perimeter, and yet he's coming off in our wheel action where he's coming off the baseline to the slot and just rising up and shooting it with such great confidence. And I think as a coach, you want to continue to instill that confidence in your guys for key moments. I think sometimes coaches can overcoach it, and we want Gabe to know that we brought him here for a reason. We're confident in his ability to make that play and that shot, and, man, those are huge. I mean, 2 big ones. So really happy for him. He earns it every day, and he deserves to make shots like that based on how he works.
You've talked a lot about with both of them about wanting to play that bigger role, but, I mean, even when you were recruiting Isaiah, did you ever even envision that he could have this in him?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty amazing. So I don't want to undersell or what we thought he might do. To me, a lot of times when you recruit guys and then they tell you what they want to do, and then you talk to them about how do you work, what are your habits, how much do you put into it, and I'm telling you, like, when we practice every day and we do a closeout, he's the first guy in line, and his energy and enthusiasm is off the charts. So my experience has been a lot of the great players that play here do those things. And so his confidence continues to grow. Certainly we didn't expect this, but when you see what he does every single day, like, man, 10 times out of 10, you'll take those guys and go to war with them, and they're going to keep getting better. And it's really cool to see his continued development and the confidence he's playing with right now, because it's terrific.
I won't ask you to be a bracketologist, but what does a win like this do for you guys in the big picture context?
Yeah, I mean, they're all huge, obviously. Again, I know everybody probably thinks that I pay more attention to it than I do. Our league is really good, and so every game is tough. I would imagine that, winning games like that at this point in the year is probably pretty impactful with how things move forward for us. So we need to just keep our head down and keep working and put ourselves in position to keep winning these type of games. If our guys can play offensively with the confidence we've had the last 2 second halves and share the ball the way they have, we can be pretty special. So we just got to get to what's next.
DJ, you mentioned assists, especially in the second half. What impressed you about George and Tyrese's passing tonight, combining for 14, making plays tonight?
Yeah, no, I mean, Tyrese, it wasn't his best game at all. I mean, especially early, he had some struggles, and his command wasn't to the level that we've come to expect from him. But he has such a tremendous sense of pride, and he cares and wants to win, and he's one of those guys, he's always finds a way to win. And so for him, that second half, I don't know how many of his assists he had. I think it was 3-3 at half and ends up with 9. So 6-0 in the second half. And then George, some of those plays, we throw it to him on the outside of the court, and he hits Kalscheur on the cut, and some other guys on those cuts. Those are big plays for our offense. So if we can continue to value the ball to the level that we did, I know in the second half it would probably not even be realistic, but our guys really cared and they wanted to play for each other, and we need to just stay in that headspace because we can be really good when we do that.
We're used to the environments on Saturdays, right? But on a Wednesday, the pandemonium in this place, kids got class the next day, people got to go to work. I guess just what can you say about the way it felt in here tonight?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, there was a stretch on Saturday where it was so good in there as our offense got going. And tonight, the way our fans stayed with us and continued to show that support and energy, the humility and gratitude we have and the choices they make to come support us on a 6 o'clock game on a Wednesday. We know that people have to take off work early and figure out who's going to drive kids around and all those things. And that's why it's really special to be a Cyclone. We got the best fans in America, people who really care. They have that passion, enthusiasm, and I think that's what Cyclone or what Hilton Magic is the players playing with that passion, enthusiasm, the fans bringing it, and everybody giving what they have. So we're really appreciative. Thank you. Sorry. I wish I could give you a better answer on those. On the bracketology now. I don't know enough about it, but my guess is if they fall apart, that ends up being a quad 3 game, and now it turns into a bad loss if you don't win. Because they're broken right now. They're done. They're shutting it down. They were, we gave them energy. They're ready to put.
You alluded to it. There was the flow of the game was in their favor. to put it mildly.